Hello guys and dolls, how are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm in my loungewear, I'm in my PJs, so I'm in relax mode. I hope you're in relax mode. Oh, you need to go away because I don't really care about that. I don't care about that. Stop. You know, our world is becoming so invasive with, advertisements to the point where they're going to shove them in your face whether you want to see them or not. And I really hate that. I really hate that because it messes with my concentration of what I'm trying to do. First of all, before I even get started, I had an interesting, I'm going to plug you in because I forgot because I'm blonde. So, where's the doohickey? That might be better. Sorry about that. I forgot to plug you in. Okay, so I had an interesting encounter today. I'm a nature girl. I love nature. I love being out in the woods. I've loved that since I was a kid. That's just who I am. So I had said to my friend, I said, let's go to Finger Lakes, which is in Columbia, Missouri. But we ended up going to Rocky Forks Lake, which is the lake that happens before you get to Finger Lakes, okay? Finger Lakes is very, very, very vast. I don't even remember how many acres it covers. And we were just doing errands, and then we just kind of enjoy the weather. Well, I can't say enjoyed the weather because the weather was getting ready to pop off later, later today. Anyway, so long story short, we went down to Rocky Forks and we saw in the field at the end of the road it looked like a black dog. Well, why would a dog be out there? There's no houses out there. There's no people out there. And then my friend, it turned and it kind of stood in the field like, oh, what do I do? And then he turned and he kind of ran away a little bit. And then he turned around and looked and his tail was real bushy. So my friend was saying, that's a wolf. And I'm like, no, it looks like a coyote because coyotes are smaller than wolves. He's like, that's a wolf. Look at his tail. But here's the thing. Coyotes have tails like that too. So who only knows? And then I did research because I'm a geek, okay? I'm a nerd. I did research and I found out that there's also something called a coy wolf, where a coyote and a wolf mated and their offspring is called a coy wolf. So that just complicates matters all the more. It could have been a coyote, it could have been a smaller wolf, a young wolf, or it could have been a coy wolf. It ran away from us. I wished I could have got a better picture of it. It looked like a dog initially, and it was not a dog because it just wasn't. And then when we saw the tail, we knew that wasn't a typical dog's tail. So that was interesting. So anyway, back to the story at hand. Things that narcissists say that are garbage. Okay, it's not true. You have to remember that if this person is a narcissist or otherwise mentally disordered, personality disordered, they say things to manipulate you. They metamorphosize into this wonderful, charming, sweet, compassionate, empathic, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on and on. And all of that is fake. And all of that is an act. The way you know if somebody's for real or not is through consistency. That's how you know if they're for real or not. Through consistency, being consistent through time. Not being super charming in the beginning and, hi, it's great to meet you. And then, whatever period of time later, you see the rage for no reason. That should set your mind off to say, something ain't right with this person. Especially if they flip for no reason, because wackos are normal. It's normal for them to flip out. Anyway, I love you. I'm not going to read all of it because it's a lot. But this is from, Get Lost. No thanks. Fly away. It's called a thought catalog, and it's 12 things narcissists say and what they really mean. So if you want to ever look it up, 12 things narcissists say and what they really mean. Okay. So I love you. That translates to I love owning you. Okay. I love controlling you. I love using you. It feels so good to love bomb you, to sweet talk you, to pull you in and to discard you whenever I please. When I flatter you, I can have anything I want. You trust me. You open up so easily, even after you've already been mistreated. When they say I'm sorry, what they really mean is I'm sorry you feel that way. Sorry, not sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's get this argument over with already so I can continue my abusive behavior in peace. I am not sorry that I did what I did. I am sorry I got caught. I'm sorry you're calling me out. I'm sorry that I'm being held accountable. I'm sorry you have the emotion that you do. Okay? Oh, you're making me tired. Would you stop? This laptop it's not a laptop, it's a notebook, whatever the hell you call it. It's narcissistic right now. Okay, so you're oversensitive, you're overreacting. Someone who truly cares about you is going to, what's the word? They're going to validate your feelings. They're not going to be like, oh my God, really? You're so sensitive. Stop being so sensitive. That's not validation. That's abuse. That's being nasty and abusive. There's no need for any of that. Because if a person feels the way they do, there's a reason for it. And if they're constantly getting mad at you, you're the common denominator, unless they've got a problem. See what I'm saying? You're oversensitive. You're overreacting. Translation, you're probably, you're having a perfectly normal reaction to an immense amount of bullshit. But all I see is that you're catching on. Let me gaslight you some more. So you second guess yourself. Emotionally invalidating you is the key to keeping you compliant. So long as you don't trust yourself, you'll work that much harder to rationalize, minimize, and deny my abuse. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm not going to read the whole thing because there's a lot, but you know, if you have to rewind this and go back to the page I told you to go back to, you could read the entire thing word for word. You're crazy. That's another thing they like to say. You're crazy. Translation, I am a master of creating chaos to provoke you. I love it when you react. That way I can point the finger and say, you're the crazy one. After all, no one would listen to what you have to say about me if they thought you were just bitter or unstable. Here's another one that's typical, right? My exes are crazy. Right. Right. There's a saying that goes, if everybody dislikes you or everybody's having a problem with you, you're the common denominator. And that's all I'm going to say about that. My exes are crazy. Translation, I made my exes crazy. It was so much fun. All I had to do was provoke, poke, and prod until I got a reaction. Finally, when I did, I used those reactions against them to show everyone how unhinged they are. Person gets caught with somebody. He or she is just a friend. You see the look on my face, right? Translation, I keep this person as a backup for whenever I get bored. They may replace you if you leave. In fact, they may already be acting as a valuable side piece. You're so jealous and insecure. My God. Translation. God, this love triangle is fun. I love the way you compete for my attention. Makes me feel so desirable and powerful when I flirt with others in front of you. Gets you riled up. It's especially entertaining to manufacture insecurities in you by pointing out flaws that don't exist, or to pick at the wounds that already do. I experienced that before with a person who is verbally abusive, physically abusive, Mr. Churchman, Mr. Holy Man. I've talked about him before. He's a rattlesnake. In church all the time, honey. Some of the worst people are in church all the time. Don't let that church crap fool you, because a lot of them are fake. And it's just really disgusting. He was flirting with the waitress right in front of me. And after seeing it happen time and time again, I realized that this wasn't him being charming and friendly. This was him flirting right in front of me. I mean, cheesing from ear to ear, flashing his pearly whites. Surgeons couldn't remove the smile from his face. And finally, I said in front of her, "You need to let her do her job." And he dropped his head and she looked really uncomfortable and was like, "Okay, I'm going to go ahead and scoot out of here and bring you your food later," or whatever, you know. I mean, really, dude? I mean, smile from ear to ear, right in front of my face. There's a difference between being, obviously, right? There's a difference between being friendly and warm, because this person's your waitress and you don't want to piss them off, okay? Because they might put extra things in your food that you don't want, okay? No, but I'm just, you know, I'm being smart. But, I mean, there's a difference between being friendly because this person's helping you and being an asshole because you're trying to start some drama because you haven't had enough drama lately and you're fiending for it. And that's not the first time he did that, and I don't even want to go into that right now because that was, I'm just not ready to talk about that right now. Well, maybe one day, I don't know. You have trust issues. Translation: I am untrustworthy person, which I've shown time and time again by betraying you. You got it right, but it'll be a cold day in hell before I admit it. Here's another thing that they use, which is really, really, really rude. It's not all about you. Excuse me? Translation: it's really all about me, me, me. If you ever turn the attention back to your own needs, I'll make sure to protect my own self-centeredness onto you. Project my own self-centeredness onto you. I'll make you feel guilty and ashamed of having these needs in the first place because I'll never be able to fulfill them. Why can't we remain friends? Translation: I really don't like losing members of my personal harem. I'd prefer to keep you on the back burner in case I need to use you in the future. Plus, collecting exes is a hobby of mine. It's so convenient to be able to reach out to one whenever I'm feeling especially bored. Aren't they wonderful? Nah. No one would believe you. I've isolated you to the point where you feel you have no support. I've smeared your name to others ahead of time, so people already suspect the lies I've told about you. So yes, some people may not believe you. That's called the smear campaign, by the way. You'll never find you'll never find someone else like me. Translation: if you never find someone else like me, that's a good thing. There are empathic people out there who would treat you far better than I ever did, but I'd never want you to find them or discover your own true worth. Okay? So these are things that narcissists say and what they really mean. And I'm going to be looking down because I'm looking for something else. I'm hoping I can freaking find it. Come on. Okay, so these are some things that I wrote on my own. And these are actual scenarios. These are actual things that were said in addition to the information I just gave you, which is spot on, dead on. I mean, totally, 100% totally. These are so, hold on. Okay, so when narcissists ask you questions that are inappropriate, and I'm going to tell you what some of these are, I want you to not respond by giving them a direct answer. I want you to do the word salad, which is what they do. Okay, so you taught us how to do it by being such an asshole. You taught us how to do like you, play games like you do. These questions are not only inappropriate, but they're trying to find out what your weaknesses are, what you're afraid of, what makes you scared, because I'm going to use those as a weapon later. So come on, tell. And it should set off a red flag with you immediately, because someone who's trying to impress you is not going to be asking you questions that show your weaknesses. That may come up down the line, but it's damn sure not going to come out right now. Like a person might, y'all take a hike in the woods. I'm just giving a scenario. And your partner sees, y'all are in a relationship now, and your partner sees a spider in the woods, and he's a man, and he screams and takes off running, you know, and then he explains, you're like, what was that all about? You know what I'm saying? And he says, I've always been terrified of spiders. I'm sorry. I know I look like a wuss just back then, but I'm so sorry. I've been terrified since I was a little kid. That's different. That's just a scenario and a comment that came as a result of a scenario. But when someone starts digging in, trying to find out shit too quick, nah, something ain't right. And some of these questions are just inappropriate. Somebody's not going to ask you that if they're trying to impress you. They're just not. Okay? These are some of their favorite things to ask. What is your worst fear? Why would somebody need to know that, number one? And why would they need to know that right away? Because they're using it as a weapon later. So you need to tell me what all your weaknesses are. So what you could say to that is, or to any question that's inappropriate, I don't really have a fear that I am aware of. No, seriously, come on, tell me. Everybody's afraid of something. I can't think of anything. And what they're going to do is press and press and press until you get irritated. Try not to get irritated. Try to keep it together. But in the back of your mind, you know that this is not someone you want to be with, because they're gathering intel. That's not good. That's not good. It's gonna be thrown in your face later. So you don't. I'm telling you, you don't want this. What is your worst fear? Insist that you know what? I've thought about it, but I can't think of anything. Everybody has a fear. Come on. Give it up. Cough it up. Don't tell them. Just keep telling them that I can't think of anything. Don't give them ammo against you. Got it? Don't do it. Here's another question. What is the worst thing you've ever done? Which is what you probably want to say, and some people are bold enough and brazen enough that they will say it. That's none of your damn business. Okay? That's none of your damn business. You know? If you don't want to be that bold, you could say, what was the question again? What's the worst thing you've ever done? Well, I'm not a bad person, so I don't go around doing bad things. No, come on. You know, everybody's done something that they're not proud of. I can think of really good things that I've done, but I can't think. Do not dance around it. Dance around the topic and never give in. I don't give a shit how hard they press. And when you're tired of the bullshit, if you're on a date with this person and you're tired of the bullshit, you can drink your coffee or whatever it is that y'all are doing and say, you know what, this has been real. I don't want a second date with you. This was kind of a hellish situation for me, and we're just not compatible, but I wish you the best. And then you get the hell out of there. That's why I encourage people, if you can meet them at the restaurant or wherever y'all gonna meet, it's a good idea for you to drive, so that if and when this person acts like a whack job, you can exit and you don't have to let them, go through a situation where they have to bring you home. Nah, we're not playing that game, okay, buddy? So dance around the topic. Don't tell them, don't give them ammo. What is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to you? Again, it's inappropriate. Why would you need to know something like that? What is the relationship you have with family members? If there was ever a conflict, they want details of what happened. They're going to use that later, okay? They remember everything you tell them to use it as a weapon later, which I told you this, okay? I knew somebody who's a guy and he loves porn. So what? That's just the way it is, right? And he said that he watched a scene. I guess the actor and the actress in the porn movie, he told me that she apparently had he had either found out some highly personal things about her and her relationship with her father, or either he researched it or she might have confided in him at one point. Anyway, they were in the scene, and smack dab in the middle of it, he says, "That's why your father never loved you." She got up and she burst into tears and got out of there. And they were like, do you want us to cancel the scene? We could do it at another time. She said, no, let's do it. And then she did it. And then I think she decided she'd never work with him again. He didn't, I don't know if he said that because he knew something, or I don't know. But you should never come out of your neck and say something like that, because what if it's true? And she might have confided in him. So I don't know there's certain things, certain lines you shouldn't cross. And talking about somebody's family when you don't know the whole situation. Come on, man. Don't be an asshole. But if he's a narc or she's a narc, they're going to be an asshole. That's who they are. It's in their DNA. If you do a blood draw, you will see the letters asshole. Okay? In their blood. You're too sensitive. In other words, you're not letting me do what I want to do, so stop being a baby. Man up or woman up. Yeah, right. You're antisocial. You hold grudges. One lady revealed that she had told the individual that she was with at the time that she lost her husband and son in a car accident. While they were with his family, he says, in front of everyone, I'm sure he was loud about it, okay? She's the one who lost her husband and son in a car accident. What am I doing with a widow? I don't even know what to say to that, to be quite honest with you. I'm stuttering because I'm still stuttering. I don't even... this is why you need your own car when you go places until you know this person. Because then you could say, you're right, you shouldn't be with a widow, because that's probably very disturbing for you. So tell everybody, hey, thanks for inviting me. I'm really, I had a good time for the most part. Y'all have a good night. Oh, no. Don't go anywhere. Y'all have a good night. You turn around and get in your car and get the hell out of Dodge. Somebody should have punched him in the nose as hard as they could. Anyway, one lady was hearing impaired. Her husband would speak. If she didn't hear him, he would say, "Are you deaf?" And then he would say, "Oh yeah, you are." So her disability was an advantage to him. Because I'm going to throw that in your face. Something you have no control over. I'm going to throw that into your face as soon as I can. Because I can. And I get a kick out of watching the horror on your face. One lady said she went out with a guy. And she stated that there was a pair of shoes that she liked. This is his response. Don't you think you have enough shoes? Mind you, he'd never been to her house. He don't know what she has or doesn't have. But he's going to come out the side of his face and say something that ignorant. He don't know what... He hasn't looked at her. He's never been to her house. And even if he did go to her house and she had 200 pairs of shoes, that's none of your fucking business. Asswipe. That's none of your business. I don't care if she has 10,000 pairs. She worked hard. She saved her money. She got what she wanted. She's a grown-up. That's what you get. That's what you do when you're a grown-up. You pay your own money and you enjoy your own money and the fruits of your labor. Someone had emailed me and asked me to mention this, and I told her I already mentioned it in a previous video. She said, but just mention it again because that's how ridiculous it is. When I told her, she laughed so hard she about fell off the chair. I hope y'all heard me because I had the mic covered. Oh, I'm such a blondie. Anyway, in my previous video, I talked about how guys have expectations, especially guys who are dogs, and they have a king complex because, I'm paraphrasing, because women just give it to them right like this and that and just hand it to them. And so they become egotistical and they believe that women are supposed to give it up because he's used to women giving it up. So I had talked to this one guy on the phone. He's a paramedic in Sedalia and he's ignorant as hell. And he said, well, if I don't know this person, I've only talked to him one time on the phone, and needless to say, it was the last time we talked, okay? He says, well, if we go out and have a good time, I don't see why we can't do something. And he means sexually. And you hear me sigh? And I said, what's the emergency? This is when she fell on the floor. When I told her this for the first time, she fell on the floor. I said, what's the emergency? And he said, what's the holdup? This is what I mean about selfishness and narcissism. The world owes me. The world owes me anyway, whether women are giving me tail or not. But the fact that they're giving it to me means everybody is supposed to give it to me. There's a few things that I'm supposed to do in life. One of them is stay pecan tan because I can't change my skin color. I will get darker in the summer, but not by a lot. And die. One day I have to die. So these are things I have to do. Laying you is not on the agenda, especially before. Back then, if I was in a relationship and we eventually got to that page, then we got to that page. But then I realized that I'm not really down for that because I'm tired of being used and I'm tired of putting my emotions into someone. If we're in a relationship, I expect that we have each other's back through thick and thin, and not everybody has that loyalty and not everybody has that ability. So then I said, that's it. I'm done with it. But yeah, I told my friend about it, and I told a couple in a brewery. They had a show there because I was taking belly dancing classes at the time. My body completely failed me, and we won't even go there. On disability, my body just whack. And at the time, I don't know if I had that tumor back then, or I didn't have that tumor anymore, but my balance is off and I have fibromyalgia and I've got weak legs because the tumor was in my body for, my surgeon said, all my life. But so I'm not, whatever. But besides all that, my instructor at the time, I saw her show at the brewery and, hell, where was I going with that? I don't even remember. So we went, and so I saw senility, okay, people? I saw the couple, the girl and the guy, and they've been seeing each other for a long time and all this other business. And I told them what he said to me, and he was a total stranger, and he was like, what's the hold up? She laughed so hard she about died. I mean, for normal people, that's absolutely ridiculous. Nobody owes you shit. I've said that before. Nobody owes you anything. They don't owe you anything. It is a woman's choice, and women can decide in minutes. For women who are physically active, sexually active, they can decide in minutes if they want to be bothered with your ass that way or not. And when you say ignorance like that, you ain't getting nothing except a smack upside the freaking head. No, I wasn't going to waste my time seeing him in person because he's a dud. He's what you call a dud, a narcissistic, self-entitled dud. I don't date duds. So anyway, quit laughing, y'all. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. It was on my mind. I came across it and I was like, whoa, this is something they need to know. Any question that makes you feel uncomfortable is a question you don't need to answer. Just saying. Any question that someone asks you on a date, or you've been dating for a week, a day, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, and they ask you, it makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you feel awkward, don't answer it. Well, I can't come up with anything. Oh, yeah, nobody's perfect. Come on, you got something. Everybody got skeletons in their closet. I can't think of anything. And if they push and push and push, then you could say, I've already said what I had to say about it. I'm done. Okay? I'm done with that. And you let them know through no uncertain terms, shut your face. And then watch them really closely. You can decide whether you want to be with them or not. And women need to stop holding on to men just because I've had you. We've been together for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I can't let that go. You got to get rid of the timeline. And you're hooked into the timeline. You have to cut that. Get out a pair of scissors and cut that shit loose, because once they reveal that they're a snake, they don't reverse to being a nice person. I mean, they do, but that's called acting. That's not real. So once a person reveals who they are, you just have to cut them loose. You do not owe them anything. I don't give a rat's ass if you got 100 years with this person. If it's not working out anymore and they're getting worse and worse and worse, and your patience level is smaller and smaller and smaller, gotta go. Life's too short and I don't want to be miserable till I die, so I'm out. And that's that. So I'm going to do that one of these days, and I'm going to probably get stuck like that. And then I'm going to have to go to the ER like this. I'll be like, yeah, I was wiggling my head and I can't move it. Y'all need to stop laughing. It's not funny. So anyway, I love you guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.